Good afternoon, everyone. You're very welcome to practice this afternoon. So the theme of today's practice is Agya Chakra, which is the third eye chakra. So I think most of you are familiar with the chakra system, which are energy centers through the Sushumna central channel, through which prana, life force energy pass, starting at the root chakra, all the way up to the crown chakra at the top of the head. The third eye chakra, Agya, is located between the eyebrows at the center of the brain. It's often associated with the pineal gland. This energy center is often described as our inner guru. It's our inner wisdom, our intuition, our truth, also associated with our psychic powers. So when this chakra is open, these powers are obviously available to us, and the opposite applies when the chakra is blocked. We can become, basically, can even become irrational. We can become indecisive. We don't listen to our inner voice. Maybe we may take indirect decisions and indecisions. And we probably have all recognized times in our lives when possibly that, if we're honest ourselves, that was the case. So the benefit of today's practice is to try and unblock this chakra, and hopefully that you will enjoy the chakra. We're all starting in Sukhasana, a comfortable seated position. If you wish to raise your seat on a block, a bolster, a blanket, allowing the knees to gently fall out to sides, allowing the hips to open. So in Sukhasana, the knees should be ideally below the level of the hip. So depending on your degree of flexibility at the start of class, just work with what you have, it's fine. Just at the start of practice, what I'd like to do before we start our pranayama is to place our fingers on our forehead and just gently massage the area around the third eye chakra, making circles, stimulating Agya, the third eye chakra. As always at the start of class, I say it's your practice. It's not a competition. Don't worry about what anybody else in the class is doing. Listen to your own body. Take child's pose whenever you need. We're all coming from the mat with different body types. Some of us may be recovering from injury, so don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just focus on your own practice. This is your time. You're taking time out of your busy day to practice, which is great. And I hope that you will enjoy the practice. As always, at the start of class, I invite you to close your eyes gently and start to focus on the breath being the anchor which takes us to the present moment. So starting to observe the breath without changing your natural breathing rhythm, observing the gentle inflow and out of the breath, like you could follow the breath in and out of the body, to the back of the nose, the throat. Feel the abdomen rising, the chest rising. And as you exhale, the abdomen sinking, the chest sinking, and the breath leaving through the throat and the nose. Just observing at the start of practice any sensations associated with the breath. Just remaining here for a few moments. We're going to start now to cultivate the breath. So as always, for students that are familiar with my class, I like to use a metronome. I find focusing on the sound of the metronome is a good way to practice mindfulness and helps with the counting. So at your next exhale, hold your breath. We're just going to inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale 4. Hold 4. Inhale 4. hold 4, exhale 4, and hold 4. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, and hold 4. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Just returning now to your normal breathing rhythm. So as always, throughout the practice, I invite you to bring your attention to the breath. If your mind is wandering during the asanas, focus on the breath. If it's in your practice, to practice Ujjayi breath, where you are inhaling through restriction at the back of the throat and also exhaling. It's often just going to sound like the ocean breath. For sci-fi fans, it can sound a bit like Darth Vader, but it's a useful way to slow down the breath. And also in heated active class, it's also a good way to cool down the body and remain focused on the asanas. So just starting to make a gentle warm up by doing some neck rolls. Rolling the neck in one direction. Coming back to center, going in the opposite direction. Come back to center, making some yes and no movements. Dropping your chin down to your chest. Then moving the head gently from side to side. Just observing any differences between the right and left side. Come back to center and dropping the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Using the left hand to deepen the stretch. Just gently warming up the cervical muscles. Coming back to center and changing sides. Right ear to right shoulder. Using the arm to deepen the stretch. From here, coming into a tabletop position. Tabletop, wrists are directly under the shoulders. Knees are hip width apart. Just making some gentle movements to waken up the shoulders and hips. Making circles in one direction. And changing in the opposite direction. Come back to center. Making some cat-cow movements on an inhale. Lifting the head high, tailbones high. Exhale, chin to chest. Tailbones tucked under. Just doing another 3 or 4 of these with your own breath. Come back to center. From here, we're going to do thread the needle. So an inhale, we're going to lift the right arm high and thread the right hand under the left, dropping the right shoulder onto the mat. Getting a stretch into the shoulder at the start of class. Coming back to tabletop. Repeating that on the opposite side. An inhale, lifting the left arm high. On an exhale, dropping the left shoulder onto the mat. And coming back up to tabletop. From here, we're going to come to gate pose. So we will move our left, from tabletop, move our left foot out to the left side of the mat, stepping the right foot back. Right foot is gently pressed into the mat. Pressing into the mat with our left fingers and engaging Hasta Bandha and lifting the right arm high. From here, we're just going to we'll make some gentle circles to waken up the shoulders. Going in one direction and then changing and going in the opposite direction. Pointing right fingers back, engaging the core, and coming back, arms out to a figure T. We'll repeat that on the opposite side. So coming back again to tabletop. This time moving the right foot out towards the right side of the mat. Left foot to the back of the mat, pressing your left foot into the mat, engaging Hasta Bandha, fingers wide, pressing into the mat, and lifting the left arm high, feeling a deep stretch from the tips of the left fingers all the way to the right hand. And again from here, making some circles with the arms, left arm, going in one direction and going in the opposite direction. Focusing on sensations, observing if you felt any difference between the left and right side. Sometimes depending on our lifestyle, one shoulder may be slightly stiffer than the other. Pointing the left arm out straight, using the core and coming up to a T position. From here, again, coming back to your tabletop position. For tabletop, we're going to come to child's pose. So moving hips back towards the heels and gently pressing your forehead into the mat. This is stimulating the third eye chakra. If this is challenging, you can place a block under your forehead. And again, stretching the shoulders forward. Focusing on the breath, focusing on the physical sensations. Going back up to tabletop. From here, we're going to come to a melting heart pose. So keeping the hips over the knees, moving the arms forward, and trying to bring your chin and chest onto the mat or block. Again, pressing the forehead into the mat, activating Agya. Observing any sensations in the shoulders. And with control, coming back up to tabletop. From tabletop, we will take our first downward facing dog of the class. So pressing into your feet, lifting your hips high. Trying to keep the spine straight. Pedaling out the feet
And coming to your best downward facing dog. So the arms are active, Hasta Bandha, pressing into the fingers gripping the mat like claws, engaging the shoulders. The arms are externally rotated. I often use the image of imagining that you're squeezing a soft ball between your elbows. The weight is equally in the hands and feet. Drishti or gaze at the knees or navel. Again, not worrying if the hips don't reach the mat. It's more important to keep a straight spine. And from here, walking the feet into the middle of the mat. We're coming to a forward fold in the middle of the mat. So keeping a slight bend in the knees, grabbing opposite elbows. Allowing the upper body to fold down over the thighs. You can start to stretch out the hamstrings, engaging the quads, straightening one leg or both, one leg at a time. And allowing the hands to come down onto the mat. And coming back up to Tadasana. In Tadasana, we will come to a yogi squat in the middle of the mat. So bending into the knees. Allowing the pelvis to sink down, and with control coming down to the mat. If you wish to take Navasana here, straightening out the legs, keeping the chest tall. Starting to waken up the core. And slowly dropping your feet onto the mat. And again, with control, lying down onto your back. To continue our core warm-up, we're going to do some eagle core asanas. The eagle, mythical Hindu mythology, Vishnu sat on a Garuda, which is like a mythological eagle. The eagle is often associated with the third eye chakra because, as we know, eagles stay tall in the sky, they can see their prey, and they're often associated with wisdom. So in this asana, we're going to come to eagle legs and eagle arms. So firstly, we're going to lift our left leg over the right. If it's comfortable, to interlock your foot behind the calf. And lifting the right arm over the left. Bringing your hands to prayer if that's possible. You can also grab the opposite wrists. So into a tabletop position from here. We're going to engage the abdominals, and try to lift up, touching elbows for ribs. Stay here for 3 breaths. Pulling back down, tabletop position. Again. Back to tabletop. One more time. Placing the breath. Exhaling, engage the abdominals. Lifting the shoulders off the mat. Pressing the elbows. Come back down to line. Then we're going to engage the abdominals. Lifting back up. This time we're going to twist to the left. It's almost like movement, just activating the hips. Try to bring the elbows outside the knee. Come back to center. Engage well onto the mat.
Locking the arms and legs. And just taking 3 breaths here. Coming out to the opposite side. This time lifting the left leg over the right. Again, wrapping the foot around the ankle or calf.
This time left and the right. Into the arms. Come into the tabletop position. Raising your dumbbells on exhale. So the elbows towards knees and breathing here. Inhale. Exhale. Raise the dumbbells. Lift the elbows towards the knees. One more time. Exhale and raise the dumbbells. Touching the knees to the elbows. Come back down. Last time, little twist. Pull back up. And this time twisting to the right. Holding here. Activate the deep. Up the center. Down onto the mat. And wrapping the legs and arms.
Taking a few breaths here. Grabbing the back of your thighs. Just starting to make some gentle rolls. Activating the spine. From here we will come to Tadasana. So we're going to build up momentum. Come back up to Tadasana. So standing in Tadasana at the top of the mat. Engaging Padabandha. Lifting the toes off the mat. Spreading the toes wide. Gripping the mat with your feet. Pressing into the 4 corners of the feet. Feet can be hip width apart or big toes touching, whichever is in your practice. Calves are engaged, hamstrings, quads are engaged, glutes are active. This core engagement. Allowing the hands to drop down to your sides. Shoulder blades drawn together. Gaze straight ahead. Closing the eyes for the moment and just observing any sensations you feel. Sensing if there's a difference between the right and left foot. Where is your weight distributed? Just observing any subtle sensations and focusing on the breath. To continue our warm-up, we're going to do some Surya A and B. So starting in Tadasana, lift your hands tall, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Straight back, gaze forward. Exhale, step the right foot back. Step the left foot back. To plank pose. Keeping the hips high. Coming to your half for full chaturanga. Coming through to cobra or up dog. Elbows into the body. Engaging the core. And coming back up to downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here.
Again, keeping the spine straight, pressing into the hands, engaging the arms, externally rotating the arms. Stepping the right foot forward, stepping the left foot forward. Coming to a half lift, forward fold, reach tall, coming back to Tadasana. You're all quite familiar in the class with this sequence. So what I'd like to do now is encourage you to silently do that practice 2 more times by yourselves, possibly keeping the eyes closed, focusing on the breath and observing any physical sensations. So take your time. It's not a competition. Just have 2 more rounds of Surya A and we'll meet back in Tadasana. So we're meeting back in Tadasana at the top of the mat. We're going to a similar practice. I'll talk you through 1 round of Surya B and then we'll do 2 silent rounds. So an inhale from Tadasana, come into chair pose. Trying to keep a neutral spine. Hips are sinking down. Keeping the chest tall if it's in your practice, fingertips touching. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, dropping the hands, stepping back to plank pose. Core is engaged, glutes are strong. Coming through to half or full chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Back up to downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg high, opening the right hip, lifting the knee towards the sky, drawing the right heel towards the glutes, squaring up the hips, stepping the right foot in side the right hand, dropping the left heel, coming to warrior 1. Warrior 1 is a deep bend in the right knee, left leg is engaged, squaring your hips towards the top of the mat. Exhale, dropping the hands both sides of the right foot, stepping back to plank pose, coming to half or full chaturanga, cobra up dog, elbows tucked in, back up to downward facing dog, keeping the spine straight. Inhale, lift the left leg high, stack the hips, lifting the left knee towards the sky, drawing the heel towards the glutes, squaring up the hips, stepping the left foot inside the left hand, dropping the right heel, coming to warrior 1. Again, deep bend in the forward leg, slight back bend. Exhale, dropping your hands both sides of the left foot, stepping back to plank pose, half or full chaturanga, cobra up dog, back up to downward facing dog, stepping the right foot forward, left foot forward, coming to a half lift, forward fold, inhale, Urdhva, exhale, Tadasana. So again, I invite you to do 2 silent rounds of Surya B, focusing on the breath, focusing on physical sensations. It can be a nice mindful practice just to keep the eyes closed. So in your own time, don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just 2 rounds of Surya B and we'll meet back in Tadasana.
And from Tadasana, turning to the right into Tadasana at the top of the mat. We're doing today a warrior eagle sequence. So I will obviously guide you through it. So we're taking a big step to the right with the right foot, turning the left foot over the back of the mat. Coming to eagle arms, right arm over left. Coming to eagle warrior. So there's a deep bend in the right knee, left leg is strong, lifting the elbows high, getting a slight back bend. Squaring the hips to the top of the mat. If you need more space for your hips, it's fine to move your left foot over to the left. From this position, we will take humble warrior. So dropping to the left side, trying to bring the right shoulder inside the right knee, moving your head down towards the mat. With control, coming out of the asana. From here, coming onto the ball of the back foot, going to a high lunge with eagle arms. From a high lunge, we'll come to warrior 3 with eagle arms. So bringing the weight onto the right foot, engaging Pada Bandha. Left leg is strong, lifting the left leg high. Bringing the chest down towards the thigh. With control, stepping back to the warrior 1 position. Unwrapping your arms. Bringing both feet in. From here, we'll come to Skandasana, placing our hands in prayer. And coming to a deep squat over the left. Coming up, if it's in your practice, onto the heel of the right foot. If it's possible, trying to keep the left foot pressed into the mat, keeping the chest tall, strong core engagement. And coming from here to Tadasana over the right side. Again, on this side, lifting the left toes towards the sky, keeping the core engagement. Coming down as far as is comfortable. Coming back. From here, we will take goddess pose. Turning the feet out 45 degrees. Bringing arms to cactus. Strong core engagement. Opening our heart, drawing the shoulder blades together. From here, coming to star pose. And stepping left foot towards the right. Tadasana at the back of your mat. Repeating that sequence on the opposite side. So taking a big step to the left with your left foot. Pointing the left toes over the top of the mat. This time in eagle arms, the left arm is going over the right. And coming to warrior 1. So there's a deep bend into the left knee. Keeping the knee stacked over the ankle. Not allowing the knee to go past the ankle. Lifting the arms high. Back bend. Gazing at the fingertips. In this position, coming to the humble warrior.
moving the left shoulder inside the left knee, keeping core engagement, activating the pelvic floor, and dropping hands and head down towards the mat. On the inhale, with control, coming out of the asana. Coming to warrior one position again. And coming onto the ball of the right foot. Preparing for warrior three. Engaging Pada Bandha. Both legs are strong. Lifting the right foot high. Moving the chest forward. With control, stepping back to warrior one. Unwrapping the arms. Coming again to goddess pose. Knees are pointing in the same direction as the toes. Shoulder blades are drawn together, opening your heart. Coming to star pose. Dropping the arms, stepping the right foot forward, right foot back to meet the left. We'll repeat that sequence, adding in one more thing. So taking a big step to the right with the right foot. Coming to eagle arms, right arm over left. Warrior one with eagle arms. Lifting the elbows high. Slight back bend, gaze at the fingertips. From here, coming to the humble warrior. Dropping the right shoulder inside the right knee, down towards the mat. Strong core engagement. Back up to warrior one position. Squaring the hips to the top of the mat. Coming onto the ball of the left foot. Preparing for warrior three. Engaging Pada Bandha. Folding forward. In this position, with control, we're going to come to eagle pose Garandasana. So lifting left knee high, wrapping left foot, if it's in your practice, behind the calf, allowing the hips to sink. And again, with control, coming out of the asana, stepping back to warrior one. Going back to goddess pose, this time with eagle arms. Wrapping the arms, coming to star pose. Stepping the left foot to meet the right. Repeating that sequence on the other side. So this time taking a big step to the left with the left foot. Pointing the left toes over the top of the mat. Bending into the knee. And this time, eagle arms, left over right. Coming to warrior pose. Deep bend in the left knee. Both legs are strong and engaged. Lifting the elbows high. Slight back bend, gaze at the fingertips. Preparing for humble warrior. Dropping the left shoulder inside the left knee. Folding down towards the mat. Keeping the core engaged. Back to warrior one. Coming onto the ball of the right foot. Preparing for warrior three with eagle arms. Engaging Pada Bandha. Lifting the right leg high.
No problem if you fall out of the pose. Go back into it. From here, coming to Garandasana, lifting the right knee high, crossing over the left, interlocking the feet, bending the knees. Coming out of the asana with control, coming back to warrior one. Turning to the side again, coming to goddess pose with eagle arms. Lifting the elbows high. Wrapping the arms, coming to star pose. Stepping right foot forward to meet the left. Coming to Tasana at the top of the mat. And again here we're taking a forward fold. So slight bend in the knees is fine. Allowing the upper body to fold forwards. Grabbing opposite elbows. The upper body is relaxed, allowing the upper body to drape down over the thighs. Allowing the hands to come onto the mat. Stepping back to downward facing dog. And from here, taking child's pose. Again, stimulating the third eye chakra, pressing your forehead into the mat. Shoulders can be extended or even coming to embryo pose, drawing the hands back towards your feet. From here, coming to a tabletop position. Next asana is dolphin pose, and from dolphin pose, we're going to do some versions of Shirshasana, headstand. Now, headstand is not in everybody's practice, so it's not a competition. I'll offer modifications. If you feel more confident beside a wall, if you just need to adjust your mat, that's absolutely fine. But just again, bearing in mind, it's not a competition. Headstand is one of the asanas that traditionally is associated with stimulating the third eye chakra because you're pressing into the mat with your forehead. But the modifications are fine. You can stay in dolphin, take a child's pose whenever you wish. So from dolphin pose, we'll be coming to, I'm going to offer easy headstand where one leg is elevated. We will also do Ekapada version, which is the, let's say, one leg version. We'll also do the Ardha Shirshasana, which is keeping the knees flexed. And if you wish to come to the full expression of headstand, just doing it at your own pace. It's not a competition. And when we finish our headstands, we'll meet back in child's pose. Okay, so placing your elbows on the mat. Forearms can be parallel. If this is challenging for your shoulders, it's fine to interlock your fingers, whichever's in your practice. So from this position, we're going to step back to a forearm plank. Forearm plank, walking the feet in towards, trying to stack the hips high.
Should be possible to rock your head from side to side. Dropping the knees and taking a quick child's pose. If you wish to watch first, I will offer the modifications. So as students come to my class regularly, I prefer to encourage people to do the easier version of headstand. I think tripod is quite an advanced pose and you have to be very careful of your neck. I never encourage students to jump into headstand. It's a dangerous position for the neck, so it can only be done with control using core strength. So interlocking the fingers, placing your elbows on the mat, shoulder width apart, and pressing your hands into the back of your head. Your forehead is resting on the mat. So the first version, we will walk our feet forward, lift one leg high, then the other. In the Ardha version, we'll bend our knees and come into the easy headstand. And then finally, if it's in your practice, again, walking your feet in. Come into the full version, sorry. Lost my balance there, I'll just do that one more time. Trying to keep the core engaged. Legs are strong. With control, coming back down and taking child's pose. So you're welcome to practice that for a few more minutes. Remember, doing it with control, focusing on your own body. If there's any discomfort in the neck, it's probably not an asana you should be doing. It takes quite a lot of core strength, so it takes time to build up to it. And then just taking a quick child's pose to reset. Our next asana is cow eagle, Gomukhasana. This can be a challenging asana, so I sometimes encourage, unless you have very flexible quads, to have a block handy for this asana. So we'll start in Vrasana, and we'll draw the left knee over the right, dropping the left knee out to the right, right knee out to the left. And from here, we're going to sit down between our feet or onto a block. If you find this asana very challenging, the easier version is in yin open shoelace, where you can place on this side the left foot on the mat. Just do whatever is comfortable for today. And from this position, our left thigh is on top. So this time, right arm over left in eagle arms. Lifting the elbows high. And if you're feeling comfortable here, if you wish to take a forward fold just to deepen the stretch. Taking whatever version feels comfortable today. With control coming out of the
Forward bend, unwrapping the arms and legs. If you wish, taking a little tabletop move here just to loosen out the knees and hips. On the second side, right leg is going over the left. Right foot is going out to the left side, left foot out to the right. And again, sitting down between your heels or onto a block. Easy version is placing the sole of your left foot on the mat. Open shoelace. And this time, left arm over the right, eagle arms. Lifting the hands high, slight back bend. And if it's in your practice, again, deepening the stretch by folding forward. Keeping the core activation to protect the lower spine. Taking 3 more breaths here. Coming back up with control out of the asana. Unwrapping the arms and legs, putting the block to one side. From here, coming to Dandasana. Sitting on the mat. If your hamstrings are tight, it's fine to place a blanket or a towel under your sitting bones. Ideally, the legs are strong, pressing the feet into an imaginary wall. Also stretching the hamstrings, pressing the back of the knees towards the mat. Core strong, keeping your spine straight. Placing the hands behind, fingers pointing back. We're going to, from here, we'll come to a forward fold. So engaging the core, bending from the hips with a straight spine. Not worrying about how far you fold, just trying to maintain the integrity of the pose, keeping the spine straight. The knees, back of the knees, gently pushed towards the mat. From this position, coming to Paschimottanasana, allowing everything this time to round forward. Grabbing the toes, the ankles, or the back of the feet, whichever feels comfortable today. Slight bend in the knees is fine. Just allowing the upper body to drape forwards. Focusing on the breath, focusing on any sensations you felt during the practice. With control, coming back up to Dandasana. Engaging the core. And with control, dropping onto the mat. Bending the knee. Bringing your heels in towards your sitting bones. Soles of the feet pressing into the mat. Then coming to lifting the left leg high, dropping it over right leg. Arms up to figure 2 or practice. Down the knees, forward to left, moving to the right, over the right fingertips. Both shoulder blades are pressed into the mat. Then focusing on the breath, absorbing any sensations. with control coming back to center, unwrapping the legs, giving your knees a hug.
Realign your spine. Placing the feet back on the mat. Arms to figure T. Right leg over the left.
Riding the knees to drop to the right. Gaze over the left fingertips. Again, both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Closing the eyes, focusing on the breath and physical sensations. Activating the abdominals and obliques with control coming back up to center, unwrapping the legs, and again, giving your knees a hug. From here, taking happy baby, grabbing the outside of the feet from the inside of the knees, keeping the lower spine pressed into the mat, making whatever movements feel comfortable at happy baby, rocking from side to side.
Drawing the knees in towards the shoulders.
And from here, coming to our final Shavasana, dropping one leg at a time to the edges of the mat, feet dropping out to the sides. The arms are also wide on the mat, palms facing up, keeping the eyes gently closed. Focusing on the breath, observing any physical sensations you felt after the practice. Focusing on the breath. As you inhale, feeling the gentle rise of the abdomen. As you exhale, feel the abdomen sinking down towards the mat. Coming now to a quick body scan. Bringing your attention to the feet, the toes, the soles of the feet, the top of the feet, the ankles, the heels, observing any physical sensations in the calves, the knees, the thighs, the hips. Bring your focus to your hands. Bring awareness to the fingers, palms of the hand, back of the hands, the wrists, the forearms, the elbows, the upper arms, the shoulders, all of the pelvic area. Focus on sensations in the lumbar spine, in the abdomen, thoracic spine, all around the front of the ribs, the neck, the back of the head, the forehead, cheeks, the eyelids, the eyes, the nose, the lips, the chin, visualizing a soft smile on your face, focusing on the points of contact between the body and the mat. Bringing your attention now to Agya, the third eye chakra, in the center between the eyebrows, the center of your brain. This is your inner guru. Bringing your focus to the third eye chakra, observing, if you can, an indigo light over this region. As you inhale and send the breath to the third eye chakra, visualizing this indigo light becoming more intense. With each breath, your inner guru is guiding you. Repeating silently these affirmations. I know the answers to my questions. I follow my inner wisdom. I act on my truth. I am a vessel for truth. Staying here for a few moments, visualizing your body lying in perfect stillness and focusing on this indigo light at your third eye chakra. Bringing your attention now to the space in which we are practicing. Focusing on the breath, feeling the gentle rise of the abdomen on the inhale and the abdomen sinking on the exhale. To waken up the physical body, start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Make gentle circles with the wrists and ankles. Rock the head from side to side. You may wish to take a deep stretch, take a deep inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Exhale, side out. One more nourishing inhale, side out. Giving your knees one last well-deserved hug. And taking your time, turning to the right side. And again, taking your time, pressing your left hand into the mat, coming up to any comfortable seated position. Placing your hands in prayer. This time, lifting your hands and gently pressing the fingers into the third eye chakra. Thanking yourself for taking time from your busy day to practice with us. Thanking your fellow yogis and yoginis for the shared wonderful energy. And I'd like to thank you sincerely for practicing with me this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.